Facebook political pollution. I've had enough. So I've gotten to the point where I can only respond in this format. Um, I've tried blocking it using the hide feature on Facebook, but they're just being, for a while it was really good, but now it's back to throwing more crap up. So I'm frustrated. And as such, I'm taking to YouTube in order to see if I can create enough of a movement that Facebook actually responds and starts blocking some of this stuff as requested. So here's today's obnoxious meme. And this is the headline. Just in, damning new Benghazi report clears Clinton while exposing Republican lies. Now, this refers to the Democratic Committee report from the House Select Committee that investigated the Benghazi attacks. Congressman, the chairman, I don't remember if he was a congressman or a senator. I think he may be a senator, maybe a congressman. I just don't remember. Trey Gowdy tried to run an impartial committee. I'm sure it wasn't, but let's just read some of the damning statements. We are issuing our own report today because after spending more than 2 years and $7 million in taxpayer funds and one of the longest and most partisan congressional investigations in history, it is long past time for the Select Committee to conclude its work. Despite our repeated requests over the last several months, Republicans have refused to provide us with a draft of the report or even a basic outline, making it impossible for us to provide input and obvious that we are being shut out of the process until the last possible moment. Our overarching conclusion is that the evidence obtained by the Select Committee confirms the core findings already issued by many previous investigations into the attacks in Benghazi. So that's where this article starts off. Our report makes 21 findings based on the evidence we obtained, and it debunks many conspiracy theories about the attacks. In general, the report finds, and here we go on, the Defense Department could not have done anything differently on the night of the attacks that could have saved the lives of the 4 brave Americans killed in Benghazi. Okay, that's their opinion. And, I'll simply say that the countermanding one is that there were 2 attacks. They made the decision not to intervene during the first one, had no idea about the second one, that a second one would occur. Had they have tried to rescue during the first one, at least 2 of those who were affected during the second attack might have lived, and we'll never know. State Department security measures in Benghazi were woefully inadequate as a result of decisions made by officials in the Bureau of Diplomatic Security. But Secretary Clinton never personally denied any requests. I don't know that anyone's ever argued that point. Part of the probe was to determine what decisions were made and why. Not necessarily about Secretary Clinton, but just to determine what and why. Because when you have an event like this, you do a post-mortem. Now, it's a bad choice of terms given that people actually died, but you do a review after the event to see if there's something that you can learn from these situations. The intelligence community's assessments evolved after the attacks as more information became available, but they were not influenced by political considerations. Administration officials did not make intentionally misleading statements about the attacks, but instead relied on information they were provided under fast-moving circumstances. Here, this one is tough to go along with, and I'll just simply say I happened to be watching during Secretary Clinton's testimony. I happened to maybe catch 15 minutes, but it happened to be a good 15 minutes. And here she was brought emails that she sent to the Egyptian prime minister, president, whatever they're called in Egypt, and to her daughter on the day after Benghazi, where she was very clear in saying that this was an act of terrorism. This was not a video that was provoking that she wrote. This was basically, we know this is an act of terrorism. So here, where she's talking, the committee talks about the evolving assessments. The secretary was very clear about it with her daughter and with the Egyptian prime minister, I'll call it for the sake of argument. So how they come to this conclusion is confusing to me. I hope there's some elaboration, but the article doesn't offer any. Instead, it offers this wonderful headline, just in, damning new Benghazi report. It's their opinion. Is it damning? I don't hear anything damning about it. It's a conclusion that they think is warranted. That's their prerogative. Exposing Republican lies. Well, exposing, I'm not seeing evidence of, even in this article. They have the opinion that Republicans lie. The Republicans haven't issued a report for them to respond to. So how do you call it a lie? Again, the nonsense of these memes, I wish Facebook would stop or allow its users to block. But as much as you hide, more keeps seeping through. Facebook, can you help finally? So I'll simply say that the person who posted this said, this is huge, because I'm sure they saw a headline, didn't read the article, didn't know about the contradictions, and it doesn't matter. I'll just simply say, I don't want this stuff on my wall. And no amount of effort to hide or block is getting through. I wish this would wind up stopping, and I wish people would just stop polluting Facebook with all these crap memes. And it pisses me off. I don't want to be involved in this, but Facebook is forcing this onto my wall. I don't want it. Agree with me? Give this video a thumbs up. Write a comment. Tell people that you want Facebook to make a change. I've had enough.